How do you overcome the feeling of being overwhelmed? Well, I'm Tonyah Dee, registered dietitian, and since I believe we live in a body, have a soul, and are a spirit, that it's important to feed all three parts. This month's theme is overcoming overwhelm. Pretty much everybody that I know is experiencing overwhelm, so I thought I'd give you some tips on dealing with overwhelm. The definition of overwhelm is buried beneath a large mass. So overwhelm can feel very heavy and kind of like we're in glue. So basically the feeling of being overwhelmed can bring up past feelings of being overwhelmed. So, and the feeling of overwhelm is not one feeling. Overwhelm is when there is feeling on top of feeling, on top of feeling, on top of feeling. And this is what's creating that large mass that we feel buried under. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to unbury yourself from the large mass of overwhelm. So for the body, you know that whole thing, you know, when a baby's crying, put it in water. Well, think about that this month. Water is so nurturing to our body. So if you can find water of any type, I really recommend getting your body in that mass of water. And it'll tend to just really make your body feel so much better. So a lake, an ocean, a stream, a jacuzzi, a pool, a bathtub, drinking herbal teas, just really focusing on getting water in and getting your body in water. Since we are about 60 to 70% water, it really feels renewing to our body when we are immersed or floating in water. So my tip for your body to relieve the feeling of overwhelmed is put the body in some water. Even what I've been doing lately, for a while now actually, is jumping in cold water. And for some reason, my body really likes that. So it's kind of a trend going on around the world right now. You might want to try it. It's kind of shocking at first, but now I really like it. I'm kind of addicted to getting my body in cold water. You feel very alive and then very refreshed and renewed afterwards. So for the soul, what I'm recommending for the soul is, in our soul, what we need to remember is all of our experiences and our memories from the time we are born are stored in our soul. So when we're feeling overwhelmed, it's really bringing up these old memories of being overwhelmed, times where there was conflict, times where there was trouble. And one of the things we can do is we can use music or sound therapy to help our soul to remember the good times, not just be having these old memories of times when you were overwhelmed before come up, but memories of when you felt good. So I've been playing a lot of the music from when things were good in my past life. I've been making new playlists and singing more and dancing a little bit, like really happy music. And there's also sound therapy. It's becoming pretty popular where you do a healing sound bath, and sound just creates this harmony throughout your cells in your body because it's a current. It actually makes changes in the physical realm, sound does. But in particular, try to be listening to music that lifted you up at one point and has your memories attached to good memories, that type of music. So for the soul, play lots of music this month. And our soul includes our mind, our emotions, and our free will. So our soul has 3 different parts in it. And in our mind, this is where memories are stored. And when we're feeling overwhelmed, a lot of times sort of deleted memories of the past might pop up, and all of a sudden you're remembering things at a time probably you were overwhelmed in the past. And what we can do as adults is we can take this opportunity to rewrite our story from the perspective of an empowered place. So don't be surprised if when you're feeling overwhelmed, you might be having some in your mind, some past memories that actually were kind of buried in your subconscious. They might come forward to take a look at. You can write about these. You can rewrite the story. It's called reframing in therapy, and reframe it in a way where you've learned some lesson, something was positive about that memory, and let it go. So in your mind, that's what we can do for the feeling of overwhelming memories coming back, is take that memory and rewrite the story a little bit, and then release it as a lesson. In our emotions, what I said before is overwhelm is the feeling of a bunch of feelings buried on top of each other. And what's really helpful is if you can be specific, go back and identify all the feelings that you're feeling. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel betrayed. I feel worried. I feel whatever that feeling is for you. I feel isolated. Really go in and write all the feelings that you're feeling right now. If you do feel overwhelmed, very, very helpful to know each exact specific feeling that you're feeling, and you can kind of address each one of those. I'm feeling worried. What am I feeling worried about? Well, then explore that feeling a little bit and try to take care of that feeling. I'm feeling isolated. Well, I guess I really need to be around more people. So you take the feeling of overwhelm, which is buried beneath this heavy mass, and you break it into little chunks of feelings, and then try to deal with or take care, at least have compassion for each one of those specific feelings, and you won't feel so overwhelmed like this. It's just this global mass underneath, buried underneath you. It's like, oh, it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, I get it. Okay, so in the will, our free will, one of the things we do with our free will when we make choices and we have actions and reactions is this is where we're using our words, where words come out of our mouth is like our free will. And what I'm recommending is everyone's feeling overwhelmed, so we need to all speak gently and softly, knowing that there's just a lot of people who are right below the surface feeling extremely overwhelmed. And so we lower our voice and we speak as soft as possible. This isn't a really good time to be yelling and screaming, if there ever is a good time for that. It's definitely not now. So in your will, speak softly. In our spirit, our human spirit loves to hear our voice, being faithful in prayer. Thank you, I have faith that I'm going to get through this period of financial hardship. Thank you, I have faith that our economy is going to get back on track. Thank you, I have faith that this relationship is going to work out. Thank you, I have faith that this door has closed for a reason, and oh, this one has opened, so I'm going to go through this one. Not only does God's Spirit love to hear our voice, but our spirit loves to hear our unique voice in prayer, in faithful prayer every day, hopefully. So anyway, I'm sorry if you are feeling overwhelmed. It's natural to feel overwhelmed. There's so many changes, and it's on the tail end of so many changes for years now that remember to rest. Rest is possibly the antidote to feeling overwhelmed, and take some time resting in a pool or resting by the beach or resting by a stream. Make sure that you spend some downtime resting, and that should help you to feel a little less overwhelmed. So anyway, I am Tonyah Dee. I hope that this was helpful. My company is Yah Light, a movement to ignite the light within. Go in grace and with grace.